Ciao, sono Stefano di Think in Italian. Iniziamo la diretta tra 2 minuti. Hi, Stefano from Think in Italian here. We're starting the live stream in 2 minutes. If you have any questions about how to learn Italian fast or any other language in general, questions about the Italian language, I'm here for you. Leave your question in the comment and I answer them right away. Don't wait until the end. Here is my assistant, Nicoletta. She'll be attending the live stream together. Vanni, ciao Vanni. E c'è anche Lovely Hearts Forever. Che nome romantico. I also have some news. Mike. Ciao, Mike. Mike is on lesson 175. Oh, that's already pretty advanced. There are 249 lessons in my audio course. They do it slowly and repeating them the next day. Yes, definitely repeating helps. If you feel like you're hitting a wall, you go back a few lessons, 5 lessons, 10 lessons, and everything will feel easier. You can also repeat one lesson the day after. The principle is the same. This is. I also sometimes I also do live streams in Italian only to practice. But most of my of my audience, they just started learning. And there are also things that I want to share, and if I want the message to get through, yes, I should do it in English. But in that sense, you're not going to learn Italian with me today because it's my view that you should be exposed to the language, not talk about the language. But if you have questions, you certainly deserve an answer. Oh, it's already 9 a.m. here in Bali, Indonesia. So let's start. I have some news about the courses. If you're already a member, you might have noticed that the new version of my courses is now available. Everything is on one page for an app-like experience. Everything is faster, and I also improved the audio player. When I say that I did it, Mike, the program is working, taking time. Well, it's a matter of expectations. There are some guidelines regarding how many hours you're expected to spend on a language to master it. But mastery, usually it's defined by reaching level B2, which is upper intermediate. And for an English speaker learning Italian at that level should take about 600 hours, 800. That depends on many factors, but as generally speaking. So do your math and don't expect to be able to give a speech to address the nation in Italian in a month. Also, it depends on how you define fluency and progress. For many people, it's about many study materials. It's about giving correct answers in quizzes. But then when it's time to talk with people, you realize that you're not that good, even if in theory you know a lot of things, grammar rules. So. If you have an accent from another country, that's a funny remark. I that happens. Yeah, I've been told that in different over different periods of my life, and that might be related to the fact. Well, first, I don't live in Italy. It's already been a long time since I lived there. Second, my accent is influenced by the language I've been studying recently. I remember when I was learning Russian, many would ask me if I was from there or from Armenia because I look Armenian. And so if your purpose is, as I think it's the case for almost everybody with the Italian language, is to talk to people, uh, you should measuring your progress not even in terms of accuracy, that you can say things correctly. Sure, it should be correct enough to be understandable, but uh, it should be effective. That means that people understand you, and well, I don't laugh at you. And accuracy comes over time. There's yeah, the order you master grammar patterns is not the same order you're exposed to them. An example is articles. From sentence one, you can literally you can't live without without using articles in Italian. But there are not only one, like in English there are six: il, la, lo, i, le, li, and it takes some time to use them correctly. In some languages, the articles don't even exist, so it takes months, even years, before people use them correctly and uh, naturally right away. But that doesn't mean that you can't speak, say things, and get understood, even if not everything is correct. So, in that sense, progress means ability to communicate for me. That's why my courses are all about examples. You learn through examples, not grammar rules. Then if you can just can't live without it, you do find grammar notes, but in a separate page. And I still recommend that if you can't help, at least you go through the whole audio lesson and then look at the grammar notes. And, and talking about the courses, um, yeah, I've been adding features constantly. And when I say I mean I, because sometimes people tell me, ask your developer to do this or that, but I'm the developer. So, everything you see is made by me, both the learning materials and the website, all the code. I've tried outsourcing; it was horrible, and now I'm back at the helm of development because it was going nowhere. I have a long to-do list with new features to add. Well, for example, I added the AI tutor. So if you need an explanation, you click on a word, on a sentence, and you get it right away. You don't need to leave the website. Mike, 700 hours. Yeah, skills, they're not even. They're not evenly distributed between listening, writing, reading, and speaking. Usually, your speaking skills and listening skills are lower, but you understand more and you have time to write. You also can come up with more correct grammar and more words. So I wouldn't be so harsh with yourself. Your wife understands you. Ah, good. I guess your wife is Italian. Yeah, definitely. Sometimes you see in resumes the language skills and the right B1, 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 listening B1, speaking B1, and that's not possible. You can think of them as placeholder. You, you're never, unless you're very balanced in your approach, but typically you understand more than you can produce, both in writing and speaking. Ah, she's from Sicily. And I wonder if she also has an accent, because Sicilian accent is, well, you can, that's debatable if it's a language or dialect. I cannot understand Sicilian if they strictly speak Sicilian. If it's only an accent, yes. And what else? Then yeah, now you have the AI tutor. So if you have questions, I used to have a link to Reverso, the contextual dictionary. You can see examples in Italian and English, which I think is still better than normal dictionaries with the definition and you don't know how to use the words. But now with the AI, with a click, explain me this, and you get explanation, rules, and examples. So I removed the link to Reverso. Yeah, there's a lot of potential in AI. The problem is that technology is evolving, but humans are still the same, and the way we learn is still the same. So this audio course, similar courses used to be in audio cassettes, then CDs, MP3s, and now apps. But our brain is still might be evolving, but it's taking ages, much slower than technology. There are many courses that boast high-tech, machine learning, and so on. Eventually, whether you make progress or not is mostly up to you. If you stick with it on a daily basis, and if the materials are designed to promote speaking, because I see people playing with apps, feeling good about the progress they get. They accumulate experience points, credits, but then they haven't uttered a word. And yeah, again, skills are never even. Good. I'll be keeping adding features to the courses. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. There is one tip that I certainly want to share with you. I often share it. That is that you should be speaking all the time. If you're taking my courses, that comes natural. You click play and then you're forced to repeat everything that you hear in Italian, even if you don't understand everything or if you can catch everything. You'll catch it later. You can, even mumbling helps. Just don't keep quiet or everything will go through your left ear and out from the right ear. All your study time ideally should be active. That means that you are actively producing language. If you're listening, you should be repeating. If you're reading, you should be reading aloud. Reading aloud is an ancient practice. It was common in ancient times, especially when people had limited access to information, to books, and people would read aloud. And apparently, at least from historical records, that seems not so unusual, especially the scholars in ancient times. They would learn whole books by heart by reading aloud. Now, in our modern age, we don't need all that memory. Also, we are overwhelmed with information. But this principle still holds that we retain more information if we read aloud than if we read silently. There are many material, even if the materials are not designed for speaking, let's say it's a book, you should still be reading aloud. If you're watching videos on YouTube, try to speak along. That's called shadowing. That's what you're supposed to do in some parts of my audio course. If it's a long video, instead of going through the whole video at once, you split it, you break it into small bits, and you go over the bit a few times. Then you leave it there, you sleep over it, and the day after, as it also happens with my audio course, you realize that you already know more, understand more, or speak faster without translating in your head than before. To recap, yes, today's tip, as always, is to speak all the time. Don't listen passively. Don't read silently. That's all on my end. I shared a few updates about the new courses. If something is going well, it's me developing it. If something is broken, it's my fault. But I'm constantly working on it, and I'm confident that it's getting better and better. Also, if you have any requests for new features, I'm here for you. Or you can write on the contact page and you get in touch. I'll implement your idea in a matter of days if it's feasible, and I find that many users are also interested. Loving Hearts Forever. I really want to learn how to communicate things privately to myself. How to talk it under a personal thing. I want people to understand what I'm saying. Yes, secret communication. Yes, it's one of the pleasures of foreign languages. People don't understand what you're saying. No. Well, that depends on whether you can speak and the other cannot speak. I can definitely help you to speak better. Related to personal things, yeah, the topics that are relevant to you might not be relevant to others. So in that sense, it's difficult to come up with materials, learning materials that make everyone happy. I try to stick with common situations, practical, daily life situations, or travel situations. It's even, well, there are some grammar patterns that are typically used in more formal contexts, but you find them towards the end of the course at an advanced level. Usually it's content that you can use in real life situations, daily life, especially while traveling. In passing, almost all my lessons are written in the informal you, tu, not the formal you, lei, because first it's confusing, especially for a beginner, to say she when you mean you, because you also need to conjugate the verb. And second, because society is becoming more and more informal, and it's totally acceptable in most social situations to speak when informally. Well, in a business context, yes, you might be expected to, but if you're already there, probably you don't even need my courses. Yeah, I'm trying to keep materials relevant and practical. Sometimes you see sentences in courses, in language courses, that you're wondering what the author had in mind, because I would never say things like that. One thing, controversial subject, the narrators. Uh, I'm waiting for the new microphone, and I record the course over again because nobody is happy with any other solution. I had well, for the original voice was me everywhere, English and Italian. I'm surprised that people still prefer that version because audio quality was mediocre, uh, incoherent across lessons. And well, I'm not a native English speaker. I'm confident about the Italian version, yes. Then I hired four narrators, two English speakers, two Italian speakers. No one of my users is happy about any of them for some reason. So I replaced the English narrators with AI, and people are not happy about for the opposite reason. Those who complained about human English narrators said they were annoying because overly expressive. That's also my fault because it wasn't my instructions to them. I didn't want boring materials. And now with the AI voices, they tell me that it's boring. And the Italian translators, they also they tell me that they're harder to understand. Yeah, my recordings, I think they were generally slower and clearer, could say that. But no, that's how people speak. I can make it easier, yes. So anyway, I will be recording everything. I didn't want to do it because I have everything to do. There's a whole business to run, but I I'll follow the majority. Everybody's asking for new voices. I'll be doing it. I'm talking about the audio course. The readings are read by Marika, who is she's been with an Italian native speaker. She's been recording the readings for a couple of years. Yeah, find about 1,000 readings read by her. Well, that's all on my end. If there are no other questions, we'll call it a day. I'll go play with Nicoletta, my cat. See you on Thinking Italian, and see you on the next live stream next month. Ciao.